You're listening to The Bountiful Yogi, a podcast where soul meets practice and where we explore what it means to live, lead, and love from a place of deep alignment. I'm Heather, and I created this space as part of Sea Life as a Muse, a platform for storytelling, healing, and embodiment for people who feel deeply and are doing their best to live with intention. Whether you're a seeker, a healer, a teacher, a creative, or someone simply navigating the world with an open heart, I'm so glad you're here. However you got here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. It means the world to me that you're here. These episodes are meant to be short and digestible, little pockets of perspective. And if you feel inclined, you can read the blog that inspired today's episode at sealifeasamuse.com or on Substack. Let's take a breath together and begin. This episode is called When the Path Doesn't Fit in a Box. I want to begin today with something someone said to me while in mid-conversation. This journey you're on must be a lonely one. I believe they might have meant that as an insult, but I used it as a reflection point. And even though I've been walking this path for a while now, healing, creating, unraveling, that statement landed in my body. Because I hadn't thought of this path as lonely, but I realized I felt it. Not because I don't have love or support in my life, but because the way I think, the questions I ask, the rhythm I move at, doesn't fit neatly into boxes. It doesn't match what hustle culture tells us is valuable. And it doesn't show up clean and sparkly on social media. It doesn't follow a clear timeline, and it doesn't always translate well into content. And sometimes that makes the silence around me feel heavy. When I started on this path, the truth is, I'm not even sure I knew I was on a path. That's the strange thing about healing. Some people seek it out intentionally, and for others, the path sort of finds you. There wasn't one big moment where I said, I'm going to live holistically now. It was more like a quiet unfolding, a gradual realization that I wasn't seeing the world the same way anymore. The things that used to feel normal, overworking, overgiving, ignoring my body's cues, started to feel heavy and misaligned. And the more I leaned into that, the more I noticed something else. I didn't process things the way most people around me did. My rhythm had changed, my lens had changed. And sometimes that made conversations feel awkward and uncomfortable for me and the person I was talking to. But I've been deeply grateful that my husband and my kids are also on their own path of seeing the world differently. We don't always grow in the same way, but we honor each other in it. It also makes for great and meaningful conversations. And that kind of shared respect, even with our differences, makes the lonely moments a little less isolating. It's a nonlinear path we are on. There's a particular discomfort that comes when you know you're walking your truth, but you're also walking alone. Not because people don't care, but because they don't have a reference point for what you're doing. They weren't taught how to honor nonlinear healing, or healing at all, or the courage it takes to compost a version of yourself without knowing what will bloom next. And when you speak your truth, sometimes people don't react with support or celebration. They just go silent. And that silence can feel like rejection. But what if it's not rejection? What if it's just disorientation? What does shareable versus sacred look like? We live in a time where transformation is expected to be content, branded, polished, bite-sized, marketable. But real healing doesn't always photograph well. Grief doesn't glow. And the most profound shifts often happen when no one's watching. And I have to be honest, I am happy about that one because it can look very messy. There are days when I unlearn more than I learn, weeks when I create nothing but compost everything, seasons when I realize the only way forward is inward. And if you're there too, I want you to know that is still progress. You are not behind. You are growing beyond the frame. You're not broken. You're becoming rooted. The truth is, many of us were never meant to fit into the systems we were handed, the boxes we were told to fit in, the timelines we were told to follow. We are not too much. We are not unproductive. We are not scattered. We are becoming. And sometimes that becoming doesn't have a name yet. It doesn't have a job title. It doesn't have a clean origin story or a 5-step framework, but that doesn't make it any less sacred. If you've been feeling the loneliness of walking an undefined path, if your rhythm feels too slow, too deep, too intuitive for the world around you, please know you're not alone. There's a quiet revolution happening, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that roots. And you, in your own way, are a part of it. So I want to encourage you to keep going. Before we close, I want to offer a few moments for you to simply come back to yourself. This is where we shift from conversation into stillness, from the outward voice into the inner one, from thinking into presence. So if you're walking, pause if you can. If you're listening while doing the dishes, maybe let your hands rest. And if you're lying down, let yourself fully land. Let's move from listening to being. If now isn't a good time for this, pause here and come back to this when the time is right. Take a minute to get settled. Find a comfortable seat. Wherever you are, gently rest one or both hands over your heart or your belly. If it feels safe, close your eyes or just soften your gaze. Let's take a breath in through the nose and then a slow exhale through the mouth. Now again, inhale. Feel the breath fill your belly. Exhale. Let it soften your shoulders. Soften your thoughts. One more time. Inhale. Fill your belly. Exhale. Soften your thoughts. Feel a gentle release. Repeat softly to yourself. Or just listen. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be in this moment. I am not broken. I am on my own path that is right for me. I am becoming softer where I once felt guarded, becoming stronger in the places I once felt small, becoming whole in ways I never thought I could be. Let yourself feel that. Let yourself rest there. When you are ready, come back to present. No need to rush it. Honor this moment. You can pause and revisit this anytime you need to. Thank you for being here and for taking a moment for yourself. If you've missed the first episode in this 4-part series, From Hustle to Holistic, the kind of tired sleep can't fix, I invite you to go back and listen. It sets the foundation for everything we're exploring this month: burnout, rhythm, nervous system wisdom, and what it truly means to realign. If this episode resonated, I'd love to invite you to keep exploring this theme with us. You can find the full blog over at seelifeasamuse.com. And if you're craving community, come join us in Discord. We're sharing prompts, voice notes, and gentle check-ins each week to help you root into your own rhythm. And if you're looking for quiet reflections between episodes, you can follow along on Blue Sky or join us on Substack. Until next time, stay bountiful and always see life as a muse.